All the cars are from the period 1930 to 1935. Marshman. I am Marshman. Yes.
You are English?
And I am English.
Yes. From
Devon.
Devon.
Yes. And all these cars have come from England. And
you know this model?
I know this motor. This motor went to the United States and has come back from the United States. The owner worked in the United States and also in Canada, and bought the car there and brought it back.
Many years, 30 years in Canada at least.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we drove across with car down there.
Yes.
Across the states from the east coast to the west coast to California, then north to... one year I did 14,000 miles.
Yes, it's done many, many miles. They're
20.
all called, most of them are called 2025. That is the horsepower of the engines.
Thank you. Others?
This one, this is back, it is another 2025. But it is interesting because the hood can come back. Again, it is for a driver or for a limousine, and the hood can come right back in stages, so you can have it as you want. This car is a little bit later. This is 1938, and the model is called a 2530. Again, this can be used by a chauffeur or a driver. Okay. Another nice owner-driver. This is my car, so I know it very well. A Bentley. This was originally built in 1934, and it was owned by by a gentleman called Sir Charles Bruce Gardner, and he was appointed by the British government to increase aircraft production immediately before the Second World War. So that's what he did. This car, it has not been restored on the outside, so you will see many scrapes and things, but it will be a nice car. This, I know as a car, this is another 2025. It was bought by a lady who had a disability. She could not walk very easily, so the doors were made very large. They are very long doors for her. Particularly, she was on that side, but it was to give her room to get into the car. This again is a limousine. It has what we call a division between the front and the rear seats, and it will have been driven by a chauffeur. This car, the owner thinks it is going to rain very hard, so he has covered it, which is a pity because it is very unusual. It again has a roof that comes down in 3 stages, so you can have it with the sunshine on the people in the front, or the sunshine on the people in the rear, or sunshine on everybody.
And there are tire protection.
And these spare wheels, yes, these come in a cover. Very often they are not covered, but they are like that. And if it is interesting for you...
And this car?
This one is also That is another, as we call it, owner-driver saloon. You may be able to see, I don't know if it is, some people love it, yes. That is, again, with original upholstery, very nice car.
Nice wood, good wood.
Yes. And if you're interested, I can show you just the interior of my car. Because I am allowed to open it before.
The storm is coming.
The engines are very similar, but this
Engine.
yes, that is the engine.
It's a Bentley.
This is Bentley, but Bentley at that time is very similar to the Rolls-Royce, but it has SU carburetors, whereas those have a Rolls-Royce carburetor.
6-cylinder,
6-cylinder, yes.
3 liter.
Originally it was 3.5 litres, but Bentley increased this to 4.25 litres for the original owner. Big request for him. But
So-
that is very much as the engine should look. Okay.
Air filter.
Air filter, yes. And feeding the 2 carburetors here.
It's very
Fuel
clean.
pump there. Yes,
The engine
it's
is very clean.
It is clean. That is
So,
yes, cœur.
Cuir, oui. Very nice.
Okay. This one behind you, this is an interesting car. This is about late 1950, 1960. The owner would be able to tell you more clearly than I. And it is one of only, I think, 2 cars made exactly like this.
2 cars,
I
right?
think just 2 were made like that.
It's very rare. Yeah.
It is rare, yes. But many of these, you see, this was only one made like that. A lot of them.
Only one.
Yes, because what makes them different is the body. And because the body was made to whatever the owner wanted. So they would make a drawing and produce it for you. You'd say yes, and
Right.
choose the colours.
Ah, yes. Nice noise.
Yeah.
It's modern.
This is modern, yes. This will be about year 2000 or perhaps just after. Mm.
Very interesting and quite small. And a cabinet maker on the side as well. A lady doing French sewing. Very fine.
The price is less. Also,
They are all of different values, really.
Yes.
It depends on many things that are valuable.
it's not the more expensive.
No, probably not, because it is perhaps 15 years old, and some of these can be more valuable because they are antique.
Yes,
Yes.
and rare.
And rare.
C'est magnifique.
Merci.
Thank you very much.
No, it's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
That's right.
Good evening, sir.
I was just covering the distributor
Right.
because of the rain
Right.
that we're going to have.
Yes.
There, Just over 4 litres.
4 litres.
Yeah, 4.1 I think it is. And everything practically made by the company, by Rolls-Royce. Mr. Rolls died in 1933, and this was just about the last car they made while he was still alive, but he did all the design work.
Is it rare, this car?
Not really rare, no.
No.
They made 5,000 between 1929 and 1935. So, compared with modern output, very small.
Yes.
All handmade. And they were expensive in those days.
Yes.
Yes. But after, in the 50s and the early 60s in this country, you could buy one for £50. Now 50 euros.
It's more expensive.
Yes, that's more expensive. Much more.
The protection for the weight?
Yes, because of these, if you have a lot of rain, heavy rain, and it's parked here, it makes the distributor damp, and it makes it difficult to start in the morning. But that's all you need. Just keep the rain off it. I'll show you the other side if you would like. Which is the exhaust side.
Yes.
The carburetor's there, and there's a hole through the engine and the carburetor. And exhaust, dynamo. If the electricity fails, you've got a magneto there, and the starter motor is down there. And this supplies the petrol, which sucks the petrol up from the tank.
It's pump, eh?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Generator.
Generator.
Yes.
Yes, generator.
Yes. Okay.
So they're quite. Once you get them right, they're quite reliable.
Yes.
Now I have this in writing. No, it's okay. They get us round.
They do.
They work. Yes, it's interesting.
It's a blue one, yes.
This one is 1958,
Yes.
and it's called a Silver Cloud.
I can see with you.
You want to take a picture?
Oui.
You're welcome.
Oui.
But it's they made 8 of them, only 8 of them.
8.
So this is one, and I think there are 5 still running.
Oh, 5. It's running.
And the
Yes.
body is made by a company called Hooper. They were the coach builders for the King and Queen. Okay? So they were one of the best. And they made this car in 1958, and in 1959 the company closed, so they stopped. And most of the Silver Clouds are made in one shape, and they're all steel. This one is only one in aluminium.
Aluminium, yes.
All aluminium. The frame inside and the cover is aluminium. This is special because it was from the war. The Hooper company in the war was building aeroplanes.
Aeroplanes, yes.
Yes.
Well, Royce is famous for the engines.
Yes, that's right. So they're all individual, special cars, and unique in many ways.
Yes.
Each one is made by hand.
By hand, yes.
So when you see one and another one, they are never quite the same. They're all different. Now, I am repairing one in England from 1934, and most of these cars are from 1931 to 1936. So I look at these cars because I'm learning some of the methods in the restoration of my car, which I've had a long time, and I want to finish it. So I come, every time I come, I make some checks.
And you are Mr.
Holford, Holford. My first name is Charles.
Yes.
And
you go from England?
I come from England, in a town called Bedford, about 70 kilometres north of London.
Oh, I know.
And it's a great privilege and a pleasure
Bedford.
to be here.
Oui, yes.
Saint-Jean-aux-Bois.
Saint-Jean-aux-Bois, oui.
A great pleasure.
Yes.
It's a lovely place, and we have an excellent rally, and we are all good friends. And the French people are very attentive to our cars, and they are very friendly. They wave and they beep their horn, and they welcome us, and it's very nice.
And it's beautiful.
Ah yes.
Yes, and in French, as a song, c'est magnifique.
Yes, c'est magnifique, n'est-ce pas? Merci beaucoup, monsieur.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
It's a Royce.
It's a Rolls Royce, yes. It's called a 2530, and it was built in 1937. It's got a Rolls Royce used to produce the chassis and the engine, and then the specialist coach builders would build the body. And this one is this body was is called a Barker body. It's a very famous coach builder, and it was originally built for a doctor, and he used to go and see his patients in it.
Yes.
So
The story of this car.
yes,
Yes.
yes, it is a very interesting, and it was a wreck at one stage, and it's been totally restored. So it's a beautiful car, and there are a number like this, but this was built, just before the Second World War, and it was a very beautiful car, a very expensive car.
Ah, yes.
In its day. So it's a lovely thing. It's called a sports saloon. It's not very sporty, but the earlier cars had a division between the front seat and the back seat, so that the chauffeur could drive, and then there'd be a screen separating the owner of the car from the chauffeur. That's right.
Yes. The glasses.
Pardon?
Glasses. No?
Yes, and glass screen. Yes, and they would have a speaker tube to speak down to the chauffeur. So this is a
We can see the engine.
You can see the engine. Yes, we have to turn the mask off. This is called the Spirit of Ecstasy, and it's a lady. She's got her arms out, and she's sort of facing the wind. But we turn her sideways so we can lift the bonnet, and we unclick the bonnet, and here's the engine, and this is a 6-cylinder engine.
Yes.
And these are all the spark plugs here.
6-cylinder?
6-cylinder in line.
Okay.
This is a 3-litre engine.
3 litre, yes.
3-litre engine. This one has it's technically it's got a fuel pump here, which was a new invention at the time, and it's got 2 coils, and this is the distributor for all the spark, or go to the parks.
Electricity, yes.
Electricity. And this is a steering box here, and these are all the little cables for controlling the speed and the fuel and everything else. And of course, you've got the big radiator, and of course on the front you've got this distinctive Rolls-Royce radiator with RR and Rolls-Royce. And Rolls was in fact the guy who had the money, basically, and Royce was the engineer. And Rolls was one of the first pioneer pilots, and he was actually killed in a Wright brothers aircraft. And he used to tow his plane on a trailer behind a Silver Ghost, which was an earlier version of this. But he died actually flying a Wright brothers plane. So he was a very early pioneer.
And they are famous engine rollers now.
They are very famous.
On a plane.
Yes, they are, and they're still producing planes. They many jet engines now, Rolls-Royce jet engines. So this is it's a very famous car, very famous engine, and it's lovely to have them restored and looking so
beautiful.
Nice. It's leather, it's all leather. We have a armrest in the middle here. And of course, as I said, some of there would have been a division. This is called a sports saloon, but they have mirrors in here too. You see, and a braided grab handle there, so you could hold on. And there are lovely little touches in it as well. And there's for your cigar in the middle here. You could actually chop your cigar, so you could.
Ah yes, cut
your cigar. Yes,
special,
but that was
with fridge. No.
Fun?
Fridge for cigar? No.
There's no fridge. No fridge. No. But this is lots of little touches of this. It was very.
And the passenger can speak to the driver.
Yes, and the passengers here can speak to. This was one of the early owner drivers. So the early cars, the early Rolls Royces, they were usually chauffeur driven. And they went up to 8 litres in size, and they were a very long chassis. The Silver Ghost, the Phantom 1s, Phantom 2s, Phantom 3s. And then this one is a smaller chassis, and it was really designed for people who wanted to drive themselves.
And the door opening is not the good side. The opening of the door is not so.
Yes, these are called suicide doors.
Yeah, it's just.
Yes, and you have to make sure that they're shut, because otherwise they go open.
Right.
But the very latest Rolls Royces have doors like this.
Yes.
The very modern ones have doors like this.
Maybe it's dangerous for the wind.
It can be, but they've. It's easier to get out. To get out forwards rather than to get out backwards.
It's better.
This is easier, yes.
It's easy way, yes, for go out. Yes.
And of course the chauffeur would open the door and
with a large dress.
Yes, exactly. So it's a lovely car. This is a trunk. And some of the trunks, this you can take this off. And this bottom part folds away, so it's flush with the back of the car. And
very ingenious, yes.
It is, yes. And some of them, this is one big one, but some of them, you would open them up, and they have drawers in them. So you could put your clothes in the drawers, and if you were travelling or touring, you would take your drawers out and the clothes out. So it was wonderful, very ingenious.
Yes.
Well, this is
the property.
This is our car. This belonged to Deborah's, her late husband.
Yes.
And he had this for 40 years. But some people have collections of many cars.
Yes, it's rare.
This is quite a rare model, but because they are so special, and they were always very special, a lot of them have survived. So even though they didn't make many, You know, there are a lot of these cars have survived because they've been looked after, and even if they deteriorated, they've been restored properly. So they're very nice. And we've had overdrive put on her, so she tours at roundabout. She's comfortable 45 to 50 miles an hour, but she will go up to 60, and we can tour at 60 all day. So. Yeah.
Air filter.
Air filter, yes, air filter, yes.
And color, yes. It's a wind color.
It's a fan, cooling fan.
Yes.
That's right, yes. So.
Yes.
Then we've got the horns at the front, and obviously the big headlights. These are all the Lucas headlights. There's the Lucas. And these are louvers here, and they open up as you get warmer. The louvers open up to allow more air to pass through the radiator. But this was only to Rolls Royces.
Very clever. Yes.
Very clever, yes. And then it cools down and they close.
Your name?
My name is Nick Cook.
Nick Cook.
Yes. She's a wonderful old girl.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your explain.
That's a pleasure.
All pleasure is mine.
Thank you.
You remember me when the west wind blows upon the fields of barley. You forget the sun in his jealous sky as we walk in fields of gold. So she took her love for to gaze a while upon the fields of barley. In his arms she fell as her hair came down among the fields